Hey guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. This video we are reviewing 2 books, so let's get right into it. So it's the fall season, and when I think of fall, I think of reading thrillers. Maybe that's just me. But I read Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera and The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. And these books, interesting. But I read this book first, so let's get into it. What if you thought you murdered your best friend? What if everyone else thought so too? And what if the truth doesn't matter? Lucy and Savvy were the golden girls of their small Texas town. Pretty, smart, and enviable. Lucy married a dream guy with a big ring and an even bigger new house. Savvy was the social butterfly loved by all, and if you believe the rumors, especially popular with the men in town. But after Lucy is found wandering the streets covered in her best friend Savvy's blood, everyone thinks she is a murderer. It's been years since that horrible night, a night Lucy can't remember anything about, and she has since moved to LA and started a new life. But now the phenomenally huge hit true crime podcast Listen for the Lie and its 2 good-looking hosts, Ben Owens, have decided to investigate Savvy's murder for the show's 2nd season. Lucy is forced to return to the place she vowed she never set foot in again to solve her friend's murder, even if she is the one who did it. The truth is out there, if we just listen. So I listened to the audiobook for both books, and I recommend doing it that way. I don't know why, but I think recently I've been listening to thrillers on audiobooks. If I can't, or I guess like I've said this even in my book slump video, if I can't get through a book, I listen to the audiobook version. And it just goes by so much faster, and it's more enticing when you're being read it, I guess. And like, it's more like a picture in your head. Just me? Okay. But this book is such a suspenseful read. It has a thriller aspect to it, but it's more suspenseful because it's an unreliable narrator. And this is a 2 point of view person book with Lucy and then Ben's podcast. And also it goes back from past to present. And the past is of that night. This gives me a vibe of like an adult version of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because of the podcast and solving a crime. Yeah. But it also reminds me of The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager and A Flicker in the Dark by I knew it, Stacey Willingham. Because those 2 books along with this book deal with memory loss. The writing, the structure, the dialogue, and the plot in this book are so good, and I love Granny. Lucy's grandma. She is so cute. She's so sassy. She has no filter, and she's just so cute. I love Granny. In the real world, like I'm talking about like the world we live in, not this reality, people always have like intrusive thoughts, but we never act on them. Lucy, she has intrusive thoughts, but they are extremely intrusive. They are like extremely gory thoughts, and the way in the audiobook when you're listening to it, it sounds like a gremlin, her intrusive thoughts, because like her intrusive thoughts on the audiobook have a voice. It sounds like a gremlin. And it kind of like caught me off guard for a second. I'm like, okay, bless you. I think you possessed. But oh my gosh, I thought she was like diagnosed with like something. Is that like schizophrenic when you have like a voice inside your head or something like that? I don't know. But it plays very well into the story and adds more to the story. That voice is also unreliable, and it makes Lucy look worse. And in the podcast, when he's interviewing multiple different people from the town and from Lucy's life and the ones that are involved during that night, their stories were supposed to like add and be the twists and turns of the book and in the story. But I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it as a twist and turn. I just thought, oh, okay, it's just some other story. I don't know. That's probably just me. But what we also find out from the interviews for the podcast, everyone is banging everyone in this town. It's like, geez. And like I said, with the twists and turns of people's interviews, and I didn't see them as twists and turns, I just find it that it just made the investigation more confusing. Because some line up with each other, but others are just like thrown in there like it's not helpful at all. But getting back to the part where everyone's banging everyone, you just hear about that, you don't see it. But what you do see is Lucy and Ben getting at it. There's like maybe 3 sex scenes. They're not bad as what I've read from romance books. They are a little bit detailed and descriptive, but then it goes black basically. Actually, there is one steamy sex scene where it's like slightly borderline BDSM, because when I read it I was just like, okay, whoa. And also, I ship Lucy and Ben. I think that they're good together. I want to say this, but I don't know if it's true because I never watch any of these reality shows, but it's giving me like Real Housewives, but like southern and kind of like small town. I don't know if I'm right on that. The end of the book with how everything ends up with a whodunit, to me it was very underwhelming, and I did not see it going that direction, and it was as triumphant as I wanted it to be, but it was okay. I guess I liked the story up until the ending where it just fell flat for me. I'm like, of all we went through, that's the ending. And I want to go over the tidbits of this book in case there's some like triggers in this book that you don't want to read, or if there's something in this book that, oh, I like that, maybe I want to read it. So let's just get into it. Physically and verbally abusive relationship, alcohol abuse, murder, intrusive thoughts that are extreme and gory, so much dark humor, and sex. And slight BDSM. Like, very slight. Like, that's like, to me that's like beginner. Even though I don't really know that realm. But yeah, if you want a good girl's guide to murder but adult, I would suggest checking this book out. And on Goodreads, this book got a rating of 4.11, but I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. But also, if you're curious, this book is 333 pages. Now on to The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. This was a highly anticipated release. But like I said at the beginning, I listened to this book on audio too because I think I did start to read it physically, but I wasn't really getting into it. So, like I say, I listened to the audiobook. And it was a breeze. Hey guys, so I just realized while editing this video I never told you what this book is about, so here it is. She's looking for the perfect man. He's looking for the perfect victim. Sydney Shaw, like every single woman in New York, has terrible luck with dating. She's seen it in men who lie in their dating profile, men who stick her with the dinner bill, and worst of all, men who can't shut up about their mothers. But finally, she's hit the jackpot. Her new boyfriend is utterly perfect. He's charming, handsome, and works as a doctor at the local hospital. Sydney is swept off her feet. Then, the brutal murder of a young woman, the latest in a string of deaths across the coast, confounds police. The primary suspect? A mystery man who dates his victims before he kills them. Sydney should feel safe. After all, she is dating the guy of her dreams. But she can't shake her own suspicions that the perfect man may not be as perfect as he seems. Because someone is watching her every move, and if she doesn't get to the truth, she'll be the killer's next victim. This book is 359 pages, and also I find interesting, there's a reading group guide with questions, discussion questions. This book wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be starting off her like going on dates, and then she meets him, and then like she's ignoring the red flags because he does have some good qualities and she's what he dreamed of, but then she starts getting suspicious of things, and then he just like gaslights her, or just like, oh no, this is not what you think, this is what it actually is, and just going on about his day. No. That's not it at all. This is a 2 POV book, and it goes from before with the boyfriend, his name is Tom, to how he ended up like this, and then present with what's her face, Sydney, and her dating and like her suspicions of him, and then like murders and like, you know. But we do follow her on each date until she meets Tom, and the way she meets Tom is a very violent, meet cute. It was lined up perfectly for how she met him and the circumstances she was in, how he like saves her. That's not a spoiler, I don't think. The writing of this book was okay. The dialogue was okay. So they're supposed to be like in their late 30s, I think. And it just felt like they're in their 20s with how they talked. Or especially when I was hearing it on audiobook, they talked like, not Valley Girls, but like, oh my gosh. No way. Okay. Yeah. So it kind of messed up the story for me because I wasn't thinking of like mature women dating when that's what it was supposed to be, but the way they were talking really ruined it for me. So the writing was also slightly like not great, or maybe that was more of like the structure of it. And the plot, like I said, the plot wasn't what I was thinking. No, the plot was good, but the way it, like, she wrote it with the structure of it, but leading up to the plot, before, the plot ending, it was good. Hold on. But also, let me just say this, I'm very picky on my books, so if you're not as picky, don't take this to heart, but it's just how I am with books. There wasn't as many murders as I thought there would be, which, hindsight, good. But for this book, like, I wish there was like more murders leading up to it and her like being suspicious about it, and then him like I said at the beginning. But it wasn't like that. It was just, I think, 2 murders and just her getting suspicious of things around the house. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on this book, but it's just not what I thought it was gonna be. And you know when you get your mind set on a book that you think it's gonna be and then it turns out not to be, it's kind of disappointing. That's how I feel. But throughout the book, it was good. I just need to get out the fact that it's not what I thought it was gonna be. It was good. It was weird but interesting, and it was leading you in a way that you thought it was gonna end, but oh boy, the ending. During reading this book, it was okay, but the ending, I like it. The ending was so good, and I guess it's an unreliable narrator in a way. It's so psychological. I don't know. It's not psychological, but it messes with you in a way. I am not describing this well at all. It's not psychological. It's just you gotta pay attention to like little things for it to make sense. Because you think it's one way, but the ending, it's good. But if you are interested in reading this, I would say read it. It's still good. And the tidbits for this book, oh boy, let me just get out my notes. Gore, murder, domestic abuse, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, assault, blood, stalker, sex but closed doors. And this book has a rating of 4.5 on Goodreads, and I rated it 3.5 stars out of 5. At the beginning, while reading this and during reading this, it was like a 3. But since the ending, it's a 3.5. Yeah. So all in all, I think I like this one better. I mean, they're both good books, but I think so the ending on this book, I like it more. But like I said, they're both fine books. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want more videos by me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.